Hi everyone, it's Faye here, and this is my live about the Plant Spirit Summer School that is happening this year, 2024. This year the dates are June 26th to June the 30th. So I'm not used to doing live, so bear with me. But this was the idea is that really this is a Q&A, and I'm sure, well, I know there are a lot of questions about what it really involves to come here for the summer school. And some of you have never been here before, and unfortunately it's really raining today, so I'd love to have done this outside in the garden so you can actually see where you will be and the types of plants you can be working with. But it's Scotland and we often have rain, and we have a really rainy day today, so that is why I'm here. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to take you through kind of day by day, not minute by minute, but day by day, the idea of the types of exercises that you'll be doing if you come and join us for the summer school. So the summer school, it's quite a small affair. We'll probably have about maximum 8 people. So you get quite a lot of, if you like, personal time. It's an opportunity to really connect with me and ask questions. And I'm just going to show some of my books here. So Plants That Speak, Souls That Sing, and Plant Spirit Reiki. These are 2 of my first books. And these books were, so the material, if you like, is based on the material that is in these books. So we start on a wet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you sort of day by day what we might be doing, and then I'll go into like the accommodation, the where exactly are you types of questions, and what it means to come. So right, so we start actually on a Wednesday evening, and the reason for that is because to give you a chance to basically arrive in Scotland, arrive here, settle in. And what's lovely about the Wednesday evening is we'll have a meal together. So I cook home cooked vegetarian food, vegan if you're a vegan, obviously. So we'll get together for that first evening for a meal, for introductions, for intention setting, but most importantly, I mean, obviously I'll tell you about the week ahead, we'll tune in together, but most importantly, this is a chance for you to kind of meet the land. This is the opportunity for you to really land and connect and anchor yourself into the beautiful space, the garden space that you're going to be immersing yourself in for the next 5 days. So it's obviously, if you can't make the Wednesday evening because of travel plans, it's not a make or break, but it's an opportunity, if you like, rather than starting at 9 o'clock, the next morning. It's just an opportunity to ease yourself in gently, meet everybody, meet the land, meet my dogs, meet my goats, etc., and really connect with the plants. And then we kind of, if you like, really start full on the next day. So most of the days are a kind of 9 to 5. The Saturday is much longer until 8 o'clock in the evening, and I'll explain why in a minute. So the first couple of days are this opportunity to really remember, if you like, how to connect with plants, because you already know plants are communicating with us all the time, and we already know we are innately connected to plants because obviously we are nature too, and we've kind of created a disconnect, haven't we? And I speak about this in my books, and if you're familiar with my work, you'll be nodding away going yes, yes, yes. And so this is why, this is a reason to come and join us for Plant Spirit Summer School, because it's an opportunity to kind of step away from the tech. We're just going to be in the garden for 5 days. And so the first 2 days are this immersion. It's a remembering. How do you connect? What senses are you most drawn to using, and how do plants speak to you? And so the basically throughout the day, well, actually, I like to start every morning with Qigong. And this is optional, but my Qigong energy practice has really helped me connect to the elemental world. It's really helped me to connect to nature. And I must say, out of the feedback from both of the summer schools that I've run so far, the Qigong practice in the morning was one of the favorite experiences of the students both years running. So we'll start with a practice of Qigong outside. Sometimes we do it in the garden. Sometimes we might do it on the beach. And I'm pointing this way because through that window, you connect to the Firth of Forth, which is the body of water which separates Fife, where I live, from the Edinburgh and the Lothian area, which is beyond the water there. So more about the location later. But so the first day, you are really landing and opening your senses. So we'll be walking very slowly. We'll be meditating. We'll be breathing with the plant. There'll be exercises that you can do by yourself. I'll send you off into the garden by yourself. There'll be exercises perhaps in pairs and also as a group. And generally what we've done on this day as a group is we've worked together as a group with a plant, and then we've allowed that plant to communicate to us, and lots of fun has ensued, shall we say, from that. So we're, in a sense, what we're doing here in this day is we are healing. We're stripping away those things that block us, those barriers that have come up as we've, gone about our human existence. And we're really stripping that away to come back and meet the plants as they meet us. So that's day one. And we have, so all the lunches are included for summer school. And there's an evening meal included on the Wednesday night and the Saturday night. But normally on the Thursday and Friday evenings, you will be off to look after yourselves, because you might find some students in the past have found that actually they just want to fast, they just want to have kind of herbal teas in the evenings, and just kind of stock up on lunch. It's really up to you. So the next day, again, we kind of dive a little bit deeper. So we get really into inviting the plant to take us on a healing journey. So we are perhaps, I take you on a herb walk to introduce you to some of the medicinal plants that are in the garden. Because even though this garden is a former botanic garden. So before I lived here, it was a botanic garden created by quite a well-known German botanist, and she created what she called a Southern Hemisphere garden. So what you'll find in this garden are not necessarily all the plants that you would regularly find in Scotland. You'll find lots of interesting plants from New Zealand, from South America, from Australia as well. There's lots of eucalyptus trees. So it's quite an interesting space to be in, monkey puzzle trees, for example, but as well as lots of cherry, magnolias, hawthorn, and like I say, some of the medicinal plants which I work with. So I'll take you on a medicinal herb walk. And we touch a little bit on medicinal herbs and applications and actions and what all that means. But obviously this isn't a herbal training, this plant spirit summer school. This is more connecting with the spirit of the plants. So we will touch on that, and in the past we've made, for example, a flower essence together, because this really works with our emotions, and we connect with the spirit of the plant, and it's a really, really beautiful experience to make one together. And then and really it's about this day is really about kind of taking those things and just going a little bit deeper, really asking yourself, what is needed here, and really it's about you creating a relationship with a particular plant that might have chosen you, for example. So that's Thursday and Fridays, and again we're playing in the garden. I have a caravan space out in the garden, which is, if you like, our wet weather area where we can huddle, and then the rest of the time we'll be in the garden. And we've always been really lucky with the weather, so fingers crossed, but you always have to bring your waterproof, because you just never know. In Scotland we can have all seasons in one day. So we then move into phase kind of 2 of the Plant Spirit Summer School, when we get into Saturday and Sunday. And that's really when it's all about, what are the plants calling you to do, and how are they calling you to work with them, and how do they want to work through you? And this is where we get into pairs. We create healing spaces with each other, and we listen to how the plants want to come through in a healing space and provide healing for us. So this is kind of about partner work, if you like, on Saturday. And this is we'll do plant blessings, for example. We'll look at foot baths, and there's many other ways that we can bring plants into the healing space. And if you've read my book, Plant Spirit Reiki, which is Reiki practitioners, we look at some of these techniques in terms of how we can create healing with the plants in a sort of professional practice space. So what you'll find is, even if you're not a professional practitioner, and even if you're not interested in bringing plants in that capacity, you'll find that it's such a beautiful day, this day that we spend with the plants, because they really start now. This is, I feel like, our fourth day of being with them, if we count Wednesday evening as when you first met everyone. And so this is when things really start shifting. And especially when we come to our ceremony. So Saturday is usually the day that we have our ceremony, which is why we have a longer day. So Saturday is a bit of a mammoth day. We start with Qigong, and then we just really get into allowing these plants to move through us, to move us, to talk to us, and show us what is needed for our personal healing, and any other healing, and the healing of our partner and the group, and whatever other issues come up. Because you'll know, if you've ever gone on any retreat or any type of work with the plants, then we have a plan, but actually the more we listen and are present to what the plants, or what is needed, that's really when a kind of a healing plan that's so much bigger than ourselves starts to take shape. So it's a very beautiful experience, and we will have a ceremony on the Saturday night. Again, the focus of that, and what that will look like, will really depend on all the kind of moving and shaping, and what plants have been working through us on as part of the retreat. But it's usually involving fire and drumming and masks or dressing up, and we really, really invite the plants to move through us. So it's a really fun day, even though it can be quite a long day. And we have a meal together on Saturday night as well, because so we have our lunch, we have our meals together. It's all because we're spending such a big day. So Sunday is the day like when it's like, take a breath, let's relax, let's ground, let's integrate. So we really come to land with it all on Sunday. And Sunday, so Sunday we kind of take stock. There'll be an attunement, is what I've given in the past, an attunement a healing process in the garden space. And it's almost like we tie together loose ends. We're in that personal space of, how am I moving forwards with this information? And then we finish after lunch on the Sunday. So we finish around 2 o'clock, which gives everybody an opportunity to get to their next place, their next destination. Some people join the summer school because they want to involve it in a kind of big trip to Scotland. Other people are just coming specifically for this, and then they're dashing back home. So if we finish at 2, it all gives people enough time to flow onto something else, and it makes travel so much easier. So we also have a Zoom follow-up. So this is arranged at a time that is going to be convenient to everybody. So before we leave on that Sunday, we get in the diary the date for our Zoom follow-up, and this is usually about 6 weeks after the end of the summer school. And what this gives everybody is an opportunity to come together again, or albeit online, and we get also that reminder that the plants are still with us. So it can be really encouraging. That it's a lovely way to reconnect, and to kind of still feel that support from the plants, and that wonderful energy that we would have gained from being together for those 5 days. So so that's a very rough idea of the things that we'll be doing. But if you've read any of my books, done any of my courses before, watched any of my other YouTube videos, you'll get an idea of this kind of pace of the work. We're moving slowly. We're allowing the plants to speak through us. We really are allowing the plants to take the lead. So yes, I'm the facilitator, and I've got this idea, I've got this plan of what I feel, certainly the techniques and the activities that I want to share with you that I have found useful in allowing the plants to speak to me. But really, we really want to just tap into the field and then allow the plants to show us. So just wanted to touch on, where is this location and how do you get here? So I'm going to talk about this really in terms of if you're either coming by train or by bus or by plane from public transport. Because if you live in the UK, it's likely that you might have a car, and if you're coming by your own transport, then just get in touch with me and I can let you know exactly where we are, and you can plan your route. So we are located just outside of Edinburgh. So we're actually half an hour from Edinburgh Airport, and about a 45-minute drive from the centre of Edinburgh. However, students in the past have kind of wanted to stay in Edinburgh, and yes, you can. It would be totally realistic for you to be able to travel in and out every day. But I feel like you would really miss something if you were kind of taking the magic of where we are in this rural place by the sea and then taking it back to the city. I think it would be quite tiring, and I just feel like you would lose some of the magic of what the plants are kind of offering us here in this quiet rural location. So if you're arriving, you can arrive by, you can arrive by train to Edinburgh, or certainly you can fly to Edinburgh. And from both Edinburgh Airport and Edinburgh City Centre, I would then recommend that you get a train or a bus out to Dunfermline. So Dunfermline is our nearest town. It's actually a city now, but it's like a new status of city. So Dunfermline is the nearest town, and you can certainly stay in Dunfermline. There'll be lots of accommodation available in Dunfermline, and we are then. But to get to us from Dunfermline, you would take a bus, which takes about 15 minutes maximum, 10-15 minutes, depending on time of day. And there is a bus stop kind of down the end of the shore here. It's a beautiful walk from here along the shore with the sea on one side of you as you walk, and it's a 12-minute walk from here to the bus stop. So from here to the bus stop's 12 minutes, and then it would be a 10-15-minute bus ride into Dunfermline. So that is a route for you if you're going to come and you're like, you know what, I'm coming here, I don't know where I'm going, how can I get there with public transport? And so hopefully that's kind of located things for you, but get in touch with me, because as far as accommodation is concerned, if you have your own transport, I would recommend that you try and stay in the tiny villages around here, Limekilns, Crossford or Curus. Now actually Curus, for those sort of Outlander fans, Curus is one of the places where Outlander was filmed. So if anyone's seen the Outlander series, certainly Curus, which is actually, it's about a 10-minute drive from here, 20-minute cycle ride from here, but it's about an hour's walking is, or not quite an hour, but 45-minute walking is Curus, just down the coast here. And it's a really pretty, cutesy little place. And if you've seen Outlander, you'll be wanting to go and visit it. So that's got a few B&Bs. So has Limekilns, which is in the other direction. Again, a lovely, really pretty seaside village, which has a couple of pubs and a couple of like Airbnbs and a hotel. But these places are easier to get to if you do have your own public transport. If you're not, then you'll be relying on walking or getting the bus, which I've explained in just previously there. And like I said, Dunfermline as well, another option for lots of accommodation options. I've also booked some accommodation, so if you are wanting to come and you're worrying about that, then get in touch, because I've made some reservations for some students just offhand to see if that would help you out, and because sometimes if I book it, it might be cheaper for it. So that helps you out, doesn't it? So get in touch though if you're like, you know what, I want to come, I still don't understand how I can get there. In terms of the early bird, so actually where this is 25th of March, I think the early bird, which is a saving of certainly over £100, I think, is ending at the end of March. So if you're thinking, oh, you know, I want to come, then get your deposit in and you can get that saving this week. So in terms of, do you need to know, so this is a question a lot of people ask me, they say, well, do I have to have Reiki? Do I have to be Reiki attuned, and do I need to know much about plants? So first, let's look at the Reiki. So originally, this was designed for Reiki practitioners. And I've realized actually, you know what, it doesn't matter. You don't need to have Reiki. You just need to be interested in plants. So you don't need to know about shamanism. You don't need to know particularly about herbs. You don't need to know about Reiki. You don't actually even need to be a professional practitioner who's already got a practice and really wants to use plants in their practice. But what you do need is, you really do need to be genuinely interested and excited about plants, and also really wanting to follow the cooling of the plants, this call of nature. And we need to be on the same page. You need to really understand that plants are communicating with us and they have a message for you. So I find that the people who come and enjoy the Plant Spirit Summer School are the people who feel quite sensitive to plants, feel quite sensitive to energy perhaps, and have that knowing that there is actually something that the plants are calling them to do, but they perhaps might not quite know exactly what it is. And in a sense, that is the purpose of the Plant Spirit Summer School. It's like, come, I'm holding space for you, enjoy my beautiful garden space, because the plants here will create a healing environment for you to take away all the stuff that's blocking you and distracting you, and it'll really help you to connect with your intuition, to connect with your inner knowing, and be able to be in that space where you can feel your way and allow the plants to guide you. So you don't need to necessarily have previous training in terms of what plants are which and what herbal medicines which, and learning about Reiki and energy, but you really have to kind of have a willingness and have a curiosity to explore the plants, to simply feel your way, and be willing to step into this place where we it's like a place of daring, and where some people might laugh at us for hugging trees and talking to plants, but really stepping into that place of knowing, of like, yes, I can really feel this. I am nature, I am connected to nature, and just really allowing the power of nature to move through you. So yeah, that hopefully answers those questions. But I want to also touch on the question that, so, I have this book, Plant Spirit Reiki. I have an online training, which is Plant Spirit Reiki, which is really level 1, which is really putting some of these practices into practice for people in a more kind of online course form. And so many people say to me, Faye, book, if I do your online course, is that going to qualify me with Plant Spirit Reiki? Will I be able to practice using plants in my Reiki practice? And so I say, no. If you want to do that, you need to come on summer school, because the summer school really is a way to immerse yourself. And we're going to cover so many of the things that we cover in this book in terms of working with plants and bringing them in and listening to them, and creating those relationships which help us to decipher what they are trying to show us, and how that might show up, and how that might translate in the kind of healing capacity for oneself, and also in the space with a client. So if you are interested in training in the Plant Spirit Reiki, if you're interested in that qualification, then I would say come on the summer school. And then there are some supplementary materials that we will do online after that. And if you look at the brochure that I have on my website, which is at the bottom, which is the sort of the PDF that you can download about the 2024 summer school, that's got some information that says, yep, there's a supplement to pay, because actually there is more additional information and material that we want to cover, which we don't actually get time to cover during the summer school, because really the summer school is an immersive experience. As much as I want to kind of get in that headspace and sort of cover all these different techniques and show you things, really it ends up being a beautiful kind of journey in itself. And if you've ever been on any type of retreat, you'll know exactly what that means. You're stepping out of your ordinary reality, you're in a beautiful space, and we hold the space. It's a listening space, it's a space for you to kind of show up and be authentic and really connect with the truth of who you are, and find out a little bit more about what you're here to do and how the plants are here to help you do that, and what they're urging you to step forward into doing. So who is this place for? Really, it's for you. I think I've already covered it. If you are curious, if you're willing, if you've got that willingness to play and to listen to the spirit of the plants. So I'm going to leave it there. On a sunnier day, I will take you for more walks around the garden so you can see. And I know I've done that previously as well. So also, if you check out the Plants That Speak Instagram page, you'll see much more photos and some video clips from the garden. And check out the other YouTube videos for some of the exercises which are shown in my books, Plants That Speak, Souls That Sing, and Plant Spirit Reiki, that will give you a flavor of what we're going to be touching on and sharing in this Plant Spirit Summer School in June. So Please get in touch if you would like to join us, because there are a limited number of places available. Like I said, we're a small group, so get in touch. You can get in touch with me through my website at fayejohnston.com, and I can send you the application form and we can go from there. And any other questions that I haven't covered, I'm really sorry. Again, get in touch. I can't actually see the chat on this, so I hope there isn't any question that I haven't answered. So thanks for listening, everybody, and I really hope to welcome you to Gardeners Cottage soon. Bye.